Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful training that we have prepared for today. Welcome to Level Up Power Warriors. We're very excited for you guys being joining this training that we have prepared for you. Very welcoming all the new people in the industry. I'm gonna give a few minutes more for the people that is joining. In the meantime, I just wanna let you know, guys, that I admire every single one of you that are lead generators, that are in the field, doing canvassing, doing door-to-door. This is the core of this business. This is one of the hardest and the toughest activities that we do as lead generation. We can do digital advertising, we can do social media posting, we can have our funnels, we can have so many different tools in our pocket, but nothing, besides referrals, obviously, but nothing, it's more productive and more successful for you to increase your closing ratios than actually have a lead generation strategy or a door-to-door strategy on your pocket, on your team, and being a canvasser. So this conversation and this training actually came up because we meet with Ramsey Clark. Ramsey, you are here on the conversation, so I just want to let you introduce yourself a little bit and why did we plan this event? I mean, it was a blast when we meet each other and we have a conversation, we talk for hours and we say, you know what, there is a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that we will love to share with everybody that is in the same page with us. You know, it's a community, it's the culture that we're building. So you want to say something, Ramsey?
Sure. Thank you so much, Diego. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ramsey Clark. And as Diego said, we were having a wonderful conversation the other day, and I'm relatively new to door knocking. Well, not relatively new. I'm new to door knocking. I've been in Power for about 4 months, and I just had a lot of questions. And Diego took the time out of his day and spent over an hour with me, talking with me, giving me points, tips. And I was just amazed at the support that I received from Diego. And then on top of that, he says, you know what, let's make an actual Zoom so we can help even more people. So I'm blown away by that. Thank you so much, Diego.
No, you're very
and I'm
welcome.
just excited to learn from you. And I think everyone else is very excited too. So it's going to be a blast.
All right. Without further delay, I'm going to start the presentation. Thank you for all the 36 people that joined today. I'm pretty sure this time is going to be very valuable. We prepared this meeting for add value to your knowledge, to your training. So I hope you guys enjoy this training. So the first thing I wanted to do is being aware that in order for us to level up, we need to get back to basics. You know, sometimes we forget what are the basics of direct-to-consumer campaigns. And the first thing I want to touch base with is first impression. You know, this Zoom meeting, it wasn't the same if we didn't have the clock. It's not the same if we don't have the music. It's not the same if we don't have the right lighting. It's not the same if you don't have the right attitude, the right energy. So first impression is something very important when you are generating leads and, you know, making appointments in neighborhoods and going to houses, talking to homeowners. So be aware that the first impression that you generate is super important. You know what I mean? Like being clear, being sharp, being straightforward with your pitch and train your pitch. Something that is also important is the C factors. We call it C factors because the three components are smiling, enthusiastic, and eye contact. You cannot make successfully appointments if you don't have those three factors. If you don't smile, if you don't feel like you're enjoying what you're doing, if you don't feel like you have a lot of energy to transmit, I believe appointment setting is a transfer of energy. The more energy you put into the appointment, the more successful you're gonna be making the appointments, because nobody wants to make an appointment with someone that actually doesn't feel excited about it, right? It's like you have to pump up, you have to warm up before going to the field, and being able to transfer that energy to the homeowner so they can feel, okay, I need this change, I need to, you know, get rid of the utility company, get rid of the high increased electric cost and things like that, and transfer that energy. It's just like that. Ice break is something huge, and we're gonna touch base with some customer buyer profiles that we're gonna share with you. But guys, you don't have to be very creative. It's a quick, small ice break, and you can create it. You can literally use the same ice break for every single homeowner. Sometimes when I went to the field and I want to make an appointment with a homeowner, I was creating a different ice break for different people. No, you just have to create one for the whole day and knock on those doors and go to those houses and keep the same ice break to connect with homeowners, like Happy Home Day or Happy Taco Tuesday or, you know, happy Monday, we're starting the week, or thank you for being with me this Friday. You know, we're gonna have a great weekend. So just make something up so that they can feel that you're ice breaking, and, you know, welcome them into the conversation. Now we're gonna have to talk about the 5 steps of the conversation, and I'm gonna share some of the pitch that I use, and then we're gonna talk about the systems that we have, because it's very important that if you don't have a system in place, you won't be able to set up appropriate appointments. When we were talking with Clark, it's like, well, we're very excited because we went out of this convention with Powur and everything, and we went to the streets, and we want to make appointments, and we want to connect with roofers, and we want to connect with this, with that. But what does it mean in terms of systems? You know, how you can keep the same motivation. Right now we're pumped up because of the convention, but what's going to happen next week? What's going to happen the following week? You need to establish a system that keeps you on track and keeps you generating businesses. And it's not on Powur's hand to keep you motivated, guys. It's on your plate. You have to find your own personal development strategy. It's just like that. If you don't have your own personal development strategy, guys, no company is going to be good for you. No opportunity is going to be enough for you. You have to, you know, find your own way to create a system to keep you on track, and then measure it. If you don't take measurements on it, it's going to be very difficult for you to see if you actually are being successful. You know, if you're making those appointments, if you're making those closing ratios, increasing those closing ratios, if you don't have a measuring system, it's going to be very, very tough, and it's going to fall everything into feelings, emotions. You don't want to fall into emotions and feelings. You want to be a numbers person. You want to be, you know, have your statistics and KPI. So this is what I have prepared for you. And in order for us to cover all this, I set up an agenda. First, I'm going to make a quick introduction about myself. I feel it's very important when I attend any of those events to know who I'm talking with, who is this person. Then we're going to cover the 5 steps of a conversation that I'm going to suggest you to follow in order for you to be very, you know, productive on your pitch when you are at the door and when you're generating those appointments. Then we're going to practice a little bit. Well, not practice, just show you the solar script, and we can schedule a one-to-one at any time. You know, I'm gonna leave my contact information at the end of the presentation. And you know, this event is hosted by Clever Energy. Clever Energy is the company that me and my wife we create years before joining Powur, and we're still active. So if you want to join Clever Energy, we have training, we have mentorship, we have everything for you. Okay. Then after the 5 steps, the solar script, the elevator pitch for door to door, we're gonna have to share with you how to overcome these objections that we find in the field that are very crucial for you to learn and learn how to overcome. Guys, there's only a bunch of objections that a homeowner can give you at the door, and you can count them with a hand. If they have something, you know, different than those objections, then you have to learn your way to go around. You know, there is somebody very creative that can give you an objection that we don't know. But I will say 90% of the time are those objections. And if you master how to overcome these objections, you're going to be very successful. Then we're going to cover something about territory management, how to select the areas, where do I go when I jump into the car, which neighborhoods should I be, you know, approaching, and things like that. And then what are the softwares and tools that I recommend based on my experience to be a professional canvasser. So this is what I have prepared for you. And then at the end, some questions and answers. This event is going to be in English. We're going to have a following event on Monday at the same time, just in Spanish, because we have so many people asking me to do this training in Spanish. So Ramsey and myself were fully bilingual. If you have some questions for today's event, please ask them. We will be able to answer your questions. But if you want to join a Spanish exclusive event, we're going to have this event on Monday. All right, guys. So do you want to say something additional, Ramsey? Are you excited for this agenda?
Dude, I am so pumped. I'm just taking notes. And again, thank you so much for doing this.
Awesome.
Well, okay. Maybe it's the time to just ask the attendees on the chat. You can type in where are you joining, from which city, which state. We want just to keep it interactive. Also, if you have any question, feel free to put it on the chat, and I will help Diego to answer those questions as well. Here, Jennifer, I'm Jennifer Flores. I'm also a mentor in Powur. I'm the wife of Diego and co-founder of Clever Energy. We are super excited to share with all of you all this knowledge. So happy to help.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, so a quick introduction about myself. I'm originally from Colombia. I am 34 years old. I'm living right now in Orlando, Florida, enjoying this beautiful breeze and this beautiful weather right now. Fully bilingual, English and Spanish. If you have clients in Spanish, I can help you with that. My education, I have a bachelor's degree in business management. I have a postgraduate in marketing of services, master's degree in business, and I'm NAPCEP certified. So I did all the path to learn the electrical conditions for solar. My solar experience, I've been 7 years in solar business, doing also consulting. I have worked with one of the top companies in the US. I don't want to mention them, but I have trained their Canvas teams. They pay me thousands of dollars in order for me to do this type of training. So I'm very happy to do this training free for the Powur community, for the Canvassers, for Ramsey, for the people that is joining the solar business. I have done more than 1,600 qualified appointments on a schedule. This has not been easy. I wasn't like this when I first joined the industry. I have to learn my path. I literally questioned every single thing that everybody was telling me about how to make the appointments. I didn't trust any system. I am one of those guys that walks into a room saying, I know everything. I don't have anything to learn. And guess what? I fail. I have more than 4 months without making an appointment. I question myself. I doubt about my confidence. I doubt about my capacity to actually make appointments and being able to, connect with people. And after those months, I literally humble myself and I submit myself to a system. And then once I put in practice a system, I became one of the top performers. I claimed the letter, and then I started doing trainings, and I am now a mentor. More than 300 residential projects sold, more than 1,000 solar project presentations that I have done, and more than 4 commercial solar projects. I also do solar commercial. So if you want to do commercial projects with me, just give me a poke or something, and we figure it out. Um, Another pro experiences, I've been 16 years in entrepreneurship and business owner. I've been 12 years in real estate investing, 5 years in solar business, 4 years in government and public service, and then 3 years in software and business intelligence. I'm very passionate about technology and very passionate about helping others. If you want to connect with me directly, just go to Instagram at @morepowur, or my personal social media at Diego Garcia Muris. It's in the bottom of the screen if you want to add me, follow me, or send me a direct message after this training. All right, here we go. So after making an introduction, I want to start with the 5 steps of the conversation. Okay, and this is getting back to basics. For some of you, this is going to be too basic. It's not bad to remind yourself how to make these conversations. And it's very important for you to learn what are the 5 steps, because sometimes when we're making appointments and we get into the woods, we lose the picture. We lose the big picture, right? We're having fun with homeowners, or we're having a bad day, and then we lose, the whole scope of the conversation. And those 5 steps of the conversation are very simple, guys. You have to make an introduction. Then you have to throw a short story. We're storytellers, right? Without a story, it's going to be very difficult for your homeowner or your client to actually engage with you. And then we're going to throw a presentation, and then we're going to make a closing, and we're going to rehash that closing. Okay. Remember, first do an introduction of yourself. It doesn't have to be very long. Then do a quick short story, right, to catch the attention. And then following your presentation, you're there doing appointments for solar, or to do a free energy audit or a solar consultation, or whatever your script is. And then you're going to close that appointment, right? You're not losing your time. You're closing the appointment, and then you're going to rehash. Those are the 5 steps of the conversation. And no matter where the conversation is going throughout the day with your homeowner, you have to make sure that you are on control. You have to take control of the conversation and make sure these 5 steps are going through. If some of those steps are not going through, you're going to have issues. They will not know who you are. They will not know why you are there. They will not know what is the main message that you're dropping off, and they will not make the appointments. Or even if they make the appointment, if you don't rehash, then we'll be canceling, or they will forget about the appointment, and then it's going to be a mess. So in order for you to follow those 5 steps of a conversation, you have to apply the 2 main things that I shared in the beginning, the C factors and the ice breaking. I cannot make this meeting without being enthusiastic and be happy about sharing all this to you guys. You will be boring. You are driving your cars, you are in your houses, some of you are working, some of you are just listening to this conversation. What if you listen at somebody that is very boring and is not emotional, is not transmitting this energy for you guys? you will be disconnected immediately. You will be out of this meeting. And we have 56 people right now joining this meeting. Why? Because I'm passionate about it. I'm transmitting my energy through the computer, through my microphone to you guys. And this is the goal. Now, when you ice break, remember to don't sound very fake, right? Sometimes when you are ice breaking people, try to keep it as natural as possible. The first few ice breaks that you use, they will sound very weak, but then with practice, you're gonna master everything. So don't worry about it. Something additional to this ice breaking thing is actually remembering your solar script. So this is the second topic of my agenda. And the script that I'm going to show you guys.
Give us an
script.
example, Diego, on the previous one. What if we do like what will you say as an intro, or what will be an icebreaker? Just do a little bit how we do things.
Great. Okay. So for example, if I'm at the house and I normally compliment the house, like this is a nice plant, the cars, for example, if you see a beautiful car or something that is calling your attention, hey, I drive an Honda, those cars are very reliable. Or, oh, I love Mercedes. You know what they're doing in Germany with the, with the moms, whatever news that you read the day before, something that is calling your attention. So they don't feel, they know you're there making appointments. They know you're selling something, but at least you're complimenting their car, you're complimenting the house. Something that I also do when I approach a house, I wave, I never step into the grass. I always walk through the driveway. And if you have something that is calling your attention, let's say they go out and it seems they're very busy. Oh, I'm pretty sure you're very busy. Something that connects, and it's not like a script, like when you receive a cold call and the person is just asking you or reading you a script on the other side of the line. You know what I mean? It has to be very natural, and you have to be you. This presentation has a lot of my DNA.
Basically, the main message here is you want to try to connect human to human with that homeowner, right?
Exactly.
Like looking for an excuse.
And that they can see the connection, and they can meet me, and that I can, if I'm going to do a compliment, it has to be an honest compliment. You know what I mean? If I see a bad car in bad condition, I'm not going to say, hey, beautiful car. You know what I mean? It's not going to sound fake or ironic. It has to be something real. Like, find something that you like about the house, like about the cars, or I love your glasses, man. Where do you got those glasses? I need glasses. Those are filter protected for the computer. Oh man, I need those glasses. And then they will, every time you do a compliment and we have a list of icebreakers, guys. If you want to have a list, just send me an email. I send you a document that I have with all the icebreakers that I used to use. So yeah, we can just implement different icebreakers and see factors in the field. Okay. Let's continue. Let's go straight to the point. This is the core, guys. The solar script and the elevator pitch for door to door. Like I was saying before Jennifer asked that question, this script is not a script that you have to follow. You can do your own script. You can do your own thing. But this script is a script that it worked for me personally, and that increase all my connectivity, my appointment ratios, my information ratios from the customer. Is the script that I use, and is the script that I have developed throughout the years, working with all these companies, training different guys, adding objections, and it's literally following the 5 steps of the conversation that I shared with you before, and it's adding some things like the 4 factors of impulse that I'm going to teach you later on. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, or if you want to share it, or if you want me to send you that script, just contact me and we will do that. Okay, so we're going to start with this script. The script that you see on the screen right now is a script that I personally use, and it goes like this. Hi, my name is Diego. I represent Clever Energy. Has anyone been by to let you know about the solar program available in the area? And every time I go like this, I mention the area with my hand. Why? Because it's body language. Remember, 70%, 60% of your communication, it's how you look, and then the other 30% is how you sound, and then the other is how you feel. So it's like you have to be aware that the person is looking at your body posture and your body language. So when you talk, move your hands and do like this. Hey, my name is Diego. I'm with Clever Energy. Has anyone been by to let you know about the solar program going on in the area? And then look at the neighbors, look at the houses next to you, and the people literally will step out of the house to see what's going on in the area. And they will see that you are something is happening right now. And that first step, that first paragraph is going to be my introduction. You know, I'm saying who I am, who I'm representing, and what's going on. Then you go with a short story, and the person will answer you something like, no, I don't know what's happening. Okay. And then you go, great, really quick. We are looking for homes that can qualify for our program. And I've been speaking with all your neighbors, and looks like whatever your utility provider, in this case, I use Duke because I'm in Florida. Looks like Duke is the main provider. Is that the same situation that you have? And then now you have a story. Now you have something that is going to connect your introduction with the following presentation for an appointment that you're going to that you want to schedule. Okay, so that short story is going to be your moment of connectivity with your homeowner to connect on a personal level. And then once you ask that question, is that the situation that you have? You already know the utility company there. You already know Duke Energy is the utility company in that area. Whatever the utility you're working in, whatever market that you are in all the US, use the utility, the local utility, and then they will say, yes, I do have Duke Energy. I do have Kissimmee Authority. I do have Florida Power Line, whatever the utility. And then you go like, oh, are you currently paying between $200 to $300 just like everyone else? And then, of course, you know, you already know the average consumption in that area. And once you have that average consumption, they will say, no, I have $150, $120 per month. Okay, great. My job is super simple. All I'm doing right now is setting up an appointment for an energy specialist to come to your house and do a free energy audit and go over everything in detail. That is your presentation. It's very simple. What is your presentation? Oh, my job is super simple, right? Don't keep it stupid simple. Keep it stupid simple. My job is super simple. All I'm doing right now is setting up an appointment for an energy specialist to come to your home and do a free energy audit and go over anything in detail. Okay, now you have your attention, and then you gotta close. You gotta close, guys. They are in the area this week. I have tomorrow and Friday. Why do I use tomorrow and Friday? Because of the sense of urgency. You have to use the 4 factors of impulse. It's very important for them to know that you are there and that something is happening and that they can have an appointment tomorrow or Friday. Why do I use Friday? Because everybody's available Friday night, most of the people. If they don't because they work on Friday, okay, can we do an appointment on Saturday? Let me see, we can make an exception for you. It seems you're very interested. Let me talk to my manager and see if we can have an appointment for Saturday. And then that's it. You have your appointment for Saturday. And then after you make the appointment, you will disposition the lead as an appointment, and you can have an appointment card. You can have any type of system that you're using to make your track. And I will talk about the systems that you will be using. And then take the information, make them fill out the appointment card, or just grab the information. And then you will say, last but not least, I may need to take a picture of your electric bill. You know, the core for us to do solar consultations is the electric bill. Appointments without electric bills are what I call, you know, half an appointment. Yes, you have the information. Yes, they are interested, but without the electric bill, you cannot have your solar consultant make the presentation on increasing the successful ratios. They can prepare the meeting. They can, you know, see the electric consumption. They can see in which neighbors they are. They can see the energy rate that they have. They can see a lot of things. So that's very important. It's not, I mean, for us, it's one of the main things, right? We need the electric bill, but just drop it at the end and make it sound like, okay, last but not least, I may need to take a picture of your electric bill. Can you bring your most recent electric bill? If they go, no, I don't have it, everything is virtual. Okay, let me text you right now. You can text me a picture, or I can wait here. You can just take a picture of it with your phone, and then I can take a picture of your picture, or whatever you want to do, man. You know, I just need the electric bill. If you're taking pictures of electric bills, make sure to take a picture of the average consumption, the historic graphic, straightforward. Okay, and if you need the picture, then to upload your information on the system for generating the proposal, then make them download the full electric bill so that we can have a better consultation. Okay, after you make the electric bill, remember, before you leave, you have to rehash. In order for you to rehash, you have to remember the customer, who you are, why are you there, what happened, and what to expect. Right? You're setting up the expectations so that the company, once they have a consultation, if it's the same person or somebody that you're setting the appointment for, thank you for scheduling your solar consultation with us or with Clever Energy, with the company that you are, for tomorrow at 5 p.m. Remember, my name is Diego, and you will have a Google Calendar invite, and also the energy specialist will give you a call when on their way. See you tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's your rehash. So those are the 5 steps: introduction, short story, presentation, closing, rehashing, using your C factors, making ice breakings, and this is gonna be your basic solar script. Guys, this is,
Sorry,
you
Diego,
don't
one
have to
Sorry,
second.
invent
I think
can
we
something
have,
everybody
additional.
mute themselves?
yeah, thank you so
Um,
much.
Somebody's, yeah, we need somebody to mute the microphone. Okay,
Daniel,
so this script, you can obviously customize your script. You can put your personality on it, and you know, adjust the script. But remember, don't lose the structure. Don't lose the intro, short story, presentation, close, and rehash structure. Okay, after dropping off this, I may have to mention the 4 factors of impulse, guys. What are the 4 factors of impulse? Basically, those are the factors that are, I call it, embedded into the solar pitch. They are already in the DNA of this specific script for you to have your customer with the creating the impulse behind their minds, behind their hearts, behind their psychology, so that they can make the appointment, right? Remember, when you are talking with different homeowners, and we're going to talk about the different buyer profiles down the road, but you have to create an impulse behind people. People is not going to just give you the bill or give you the information because they like you, because you're pretty, or because you're smiling and you look like a good guy. No, you need to create an impulse behind it. And those are the 4 factors: Jones effect, indifference, fear of loss, and sense of urgency. Where do you see Jones effect on this script? Right there on the short story. Oh, we're looking for homeowners that can qualify in the program. Looks like I've been speaking with all your neighbors. All your neighbors are in the same page, and probably they will be driving around the neighborhood and they see solar panels going on, right? And they go, oh, this is the reason there is a program happening right now. Where do you see the indifference? Well, you know, I'm not here just knocking on your door, making an appointment with you. I'm actually working this area, and because we have an installation happening in this area, and it seems, you know, Duke is the main provider, and we have a program. Are you currently paying between $200 to $300? Like, you really don't care because you're giving a range, and you know, it's very indifference is acting the opposite of a salesperson. You're completely indifferent. If you have a neighborhood or a community that is less than 2,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet average house, drop a range between 150 to 250. If you are in a neighborhood for houses that are bigger than 2,000 square feet or 3,000 square feet homes, then drop a higher average, like 300 to 400 or 250 to 350. And you know, because you have to sound like the expert. What if you throw a 200 to 300, but you are in a 400 average electric bill neighborhood? You know, you don't sound like an expert. You don't sound like it's something that is happening realistically in that community. So that's something very important. Where do you see the fear of loss? Where do you see the fear of loss in this pitch? Easy. Well, I have tomorrow and Friday. Which day best works for you? You know, if you don't do it, sorry, man, you lose it. Sorry, man, if you don't make the appointment, okay, thank you. No means next. I'm going to my next house. And they have to feel like if they don't make the appointment with you right there, they will be losing the deal. They will be losing the opportunity. I don't carry any business cards. If you give a business card to a homeowner, just think about how many times you use that business card for somebody. Very few times. Most of the time ended up in the trash. Most of the times you don't call back. So don't lose the control. Don't lose control over the conversation and over the appointment setting process to the homeowner. All right. And then sense of urgency. I'm here, I'm now, great, I'll be really quick. All these little words that are already in the script are creating that impulse behind the appointment setting. So if you are adjusting this script, make sure to keep those 4 factors of impulse in your script. All right. There we go. Now, some of you probably are like, I do have my script, Diego. Thank you for sharing your script, but I'm going to continue with my own. My problem is actually overcoming objections. My problem is actually, I really don't know how to handle these objections. It's like every time somebody comes and I show up at a house and it's like, I'm not making an appointment. I really don't know how to answer, whatever. Guys, this is a numbers game. If you apply these techniques, your objections are gonna decrease. And then of course, you're gonna have a lot of objections and a lot of rejection. Guys, we're making appointments for solar. Welcome to the rejection world. You're gonna have out of 140, 150 doors that you're gonna be reaching, probably 100 or 120 that are gonna tell you not interested or not welcoming or get out of my property or whatever. Welcome to this world. Guess what? Your skin is gonna get tougher, right? Not because of the sun, not because of the weather, because we're dealing with the weather, right? We're dealing with the weather, we're dealing with the rain, with the snow, with the hot summer. It's your emotional skin. I'm talking about your emotional, your personal skin, to be able to receive all this rejection from the streets, from the community, from the neighbors. And, you know, just assuming it's part of your job. That's your job, to receive objection. Remember, your job is to flip a card, even if it's going to be a yes, or if it's going to be a no. If it's going to be a yes, you make the appointment. Great. Let's celebrate. If it's going to be a no, thank you. No means next. I'm going to my next house. That's your job. You're flipping cards. You're flipping cards. Every single house is a card. You need to flip that card and make sure your next card is a yes or a no. You just need to know, are you interested or not? Okay, awesome. Next. Okay, so let's go with some of the objections. You can count them with the hand. This is some of the main objections that we see in the streets. If they tell you not, if they don't talk to you and they tell you not interested in me or what? I haven't said anything yet, so it sounds like awkward. If they tell you, get out of my property, sure, I didn't mean to interrupt. Have a nice day, and you know, show that smiling because they wanna damage your day. And you are the authority in that neighborhood. You are like the mayor in that area. You're walking with authority. You're walking with energy. You're walking with a smile in your face, enjoying it. I used to hang out on the streets with one AirPod in my ear, listening to my favorite playlist on Apple Music. I was listening to music, and then somebody tell you something, get out of my property, I don't want to see you, and I'm listening to my favorite song. I'm just singing inside myself. You know what I mean? I'm not affected with the comments or the answers for the homeowner that actually kicked me out of his property. So you have to protect your mindset, guys. You have to protect your mindset and protect your hearts, because this is your work, right? You're not doing this for a few hours. You're doing this for a full day, 8 hours. So if you don't protect your mindset, if you don't protect your heart, if you don't protect your mind, this is gonna affect you guys. You're gonna get back home, and guess who's gonna receive that rejection? Your wife, your brother, your sisters, whoever you're living with. You don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen in your house. You have to be able to work, go to work, receive the rejection, and get back home smiling. How was your day? Oh, it was a good day. Why? Because a good day is a day where you receive rejection and you have yes and you have no's. Some things will be better than others. Remember, it's a numbers game, guys. Just follow the system and you will be successful making appointments. Next objection, no soliciting. I'm not soliciting anything. I'm just making appointments. Regarding soliciting, this is a very, very serious topic. I have to say, some communities, you're not allowed to be knocking on doors. You have to be able to see which neighborhoods you should be knocking, or you are authorized to go ahead and door knock. I know, for example, here in Orlando, in the north of Orlando, there is some cities that you have to request a permitting in the city, and they have to take your fingerprints, and then you walk with a soliciting permit, right? Some states, they have different legislation. So, you know, you have a specific case, just, you know, contact me and we figure it out, what is the best way and the best communities. For me, one of the best communities to actually do this is new development communities, because, you know, people, I mean, most of the canvassers, they don't know where the city is growing and where are the new communities. So if you become an expert with builders and, you know, new developments, this is going to be a sweet spot for you guys. All right. If they tell you, I already got solar, great, awesome. You are already in the green side. Are you still using some energy from the grid? Don't leave money at the table, guys. You will be impressed how many people, and we saw this training from Jonathan Bernasso last week with this guy, Lenar, is doing, for example, only 6 to 10 panels per new house. So yeah, I already have solar, bro. What do you mean? Yo, you have to ask, are you still paying electricity? Are you 100% off the grid? Are you just paying the connection fee? No, I paid $200. I mean, okay, you have solar, but you're paying 200. So, I can do a complementary system. It's going to be completely independent. It's not going to affect your warranties and your guarantees on the other system. It's going to be a brand new system that is going to be complementing this system. That's it. And people go like, oh, that makes sense. Or even if they have big systems, but they still have 100 to 120 electric bill, go for it. I have questions. How small you go? I go, if you have more than $75, I'll make your system. For me, but every market is different. So you guys figure out your number. I don't believe in solar. Solar is a scam. Why? Did you already try it, or is misinformation? And drag a little deeper, and they will tell you, oh, my brother got solar and it wasn't a scam, and they got a higher monthly payment, and they're still paying the electric bill. Oh, your system is not on, and this company is not honest. You know what I mean? Everybody talks. We say in Spanish, "Como te va en el paseo?" How was your trip, right? It's a personal experience. It's what was your experience in solar, and how honest was the consultant? You know what I mean? If you ask me about roofing companies, it's not about the roofing company itself. There is good roofing companies out there. It's about the ethics of the consultant, how ethic he is. How expensive is he gonna sell you the system? All right, I don't have time for this. Like, they're rushing. I completely understand. That's why we work with appointments, and they feel like, okay, so let's make an appointment for tomorrow. All right, I can do that. If you have some talking about the pitch, and then they say, well, not interested, you go like, not interested in saving monthly from your electric bill? Wow, that's new for me. Make them sound like this is really, really new for you guys. It's not something very common. Even if you hear it every single door, make them feel like this is completely new. You don't want to save from your electric bill? Oh my God, that's a new one. I mean, not saving on your monthly electric bill with the high increased cost and the utilities, running on fossil fuels, and the fossil fuels are increasing pricing, and the increase in electric consumption at homes due to COVID, because people is working from home. Are you currently working from home? Have you seen an increase in your electric bill? And drag into it, touch that pain points. Then if they tell you this is a scam, oh well, sorry about that. I've been in business 9 years. This company is A+ in Better Business Bureau. We're a big corporation, and just throw the credentials. If they tell you, like, get a real job, thank you for your recommendation, but I hardly do that. You know what I mean? You don't have to be rude with the homeowner. If you have a rude homeowner, don't copy their attitude. Don't copy that bad energy. It's gonna affect your next homeowner conversation. Keep it super enthusiastic, super happy. I told you before, I'm not interested. Well, we haven't been here before. Probably you're confusing us with another company. This is the first time I show up in this community. We're running this program, and we have an installation in the area. So probably you're confusing us. Okay, that's a new company. It was me. I don't remember you. I never been here. All right. What is the toolkit box that I have for you guys? These are some of the rebuttals for those main objections, but there is other objections that you can hear in the field, right? For you to decrease or manage these objections, you need a toolbox, and I call it the toolkit box, and it's right here on the screen. You can apply something called the field fail found technique. Okay, so I'm going to do an example. If they tell you something like, oh, my sister got solar and she wasn't very happy, they installed the system like in 7 months. You have to feel what they say, then failed, and then found a solution. Like, I understand how you feel. Your neighbor feel the same way that you feel, but what he found is that actually different installers have different time frames for installations. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to start arguing with the homeowner saying, oh, your sister is probably dumb, or they don't know how to choose a solar company, or no. You have to apply the field fail found technique. The field fail found technique is very powerful. It's very powerful, guys. You can use it for your personal life. You know what I mean? If you have your kids saying, well, Dad, I want to play with these guys. Well, I understand how you feel. Your brother feels the same way, but what he found is that those guys are not a good influence for you. Easy Japanese. It's very simple, guys. Another technique that is very useful is agree, then respond, and then manage. Like, for example, if they tell you solar is very expensive. Oh, I completely agree. It's very expensive if you purchase your system cash with a company that actually sells you at $5 per watt. But what we have is actually zero money down, and our price is like $3 a watt. You see what I'm saying? You're agreeing with whatever the argument he's saying, and then you are responding and you're managing the situation. How professional is that? How professional is for you to agree on what the customer is saying and then find a way to respond accordingly and then manage the situation. ARM, A-R-M, agree, respond, manage. Okay, next toolkit box. Keep it super simple. Keys, keep it, we call it, keep it stupid simple. I'm sorry, this has been recorded, but really for real, guys, it has to be very simple. Oh, this solar technology is not the best. I've done studies about it, and in 3 years the cost of solar is going to be half. So you guys are taking advantage of homeowners. Oh, you know what, Mr. Customer? To be honest with you, I'm not a specialist. I'm just the appointment setter. But if you have those questions, I will make sure that the consultant answer your questions at the moment of the appointment. I'm to be honest, I'm just an appointment setter. Sorry. That's keep it simple. You're making appointments, guy. You're not evaluating the system size. You're not taking a look at the breaker box. You're not making it complex. This is not a construction project. You know, you're there literally just making appointments. If they give you a very, very difficult question, keep it super simple. I'm sorry, I'm just the appointment setter. I have a great consultant, a great solar specialist, a great
or you know what? I want to take this seriously. I'm going to be your solar expert, but we're going to book 30 minutes consultation so I can answer all your questions. All I'm trying to do today is really setting up with you the time with you and your wife or with you or your family members that live in this house, because we want to take this, like, give the time, right? And do it in a professional way.
Yes,
Because some of
thank
us,
you
we
for
also
that,
make
because sometimes
appointments
you're
that
not
we
making
run
the
them.
appointment for someone, you're making the appointment for yourself, and you are the specialist. So yeah, thank you, Jennifer, for that. That's very powerful. Okay, you have to create personal relationships, CPR, all right? And you know, some people have this ability than others, have a better ability to create personal relationship. In order for you to create better personal relationships with homeowners, we have something called the speed up of relationships. I can send you this document. It's called the forts. Basically, it's how to create, how to have conversations about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, and sports, right? So how do we create relationships? If somebody asks me, hey, Diego, what are your dreams? I go like, well, I want to went to Hawaii. I want to, you know, visit the Taj Mahal. And then, you know, guys, what are my dreams? And we're creating a relationship. So there is some techniques that you can use, some tools to remind you how to speed up your relationships and create this connection. Okay. We don't have time for all that I have for you. To be honest with you, this training is gonna, if you want to do this
Maybe we
training
will do
fully,
another training and we specify on those things and we do examples,
sure.
right?
Yes, we can do that. Okay, let's move on. Something key in this toolkit box is the 30-70 pitch rule. What is 30-70? You have to talk about 30% of the time, and your homeowner needs to talk about 70% of the time. Why? Because you are not the main actor in this conversation. Who is the keynote speaker? Your homeowner. Who is the main guy in the room? The homeowner. Who has the power and the authority to kick you out of the property? The homeowner. So even though we are talkers, right? We're in sales, we're appointment setters. We have to be able to connect with the person. We have to be able to engage with the homeowner. We have to be able to drop the message and follow the 5 steps of the conversation. But on top of that, guys, we have to make sure that the homeowner is talking 70% of the time. Huge challenge. To be honest with you, in my cases, I will say I talk half and my homeowner talks half, but I'm improving. I'm improving, and I'm making sure that he is talking more than what I'm talking. Why? Because people want to be here. People want to be listened. They don't want to be on the other side just hearing your speech or hearing what you have to say. It's a very important rule. All right. Let's move on the 5 different buyer profiles. This is one of my main topics for today. The script, the pitch, all that, you know, is very important. But I will say this is what is going to add the most of the value for most of the people in this meeting, and is the 5 buyer profiles. There is way more buyer profiles, but these are the main buyer profiles that I have found in the field with homeowners. All right, let's go. First of all, who is this guy? Who is this lady? She is a friendly. When you go to a house and you find someone that is very, very friendly.
Diego, 1 second. Like I just, before you start, because I know this is the next chapter, I just want to hear people in the chat. Is this being useful? Is this being helpful? Like I just want to keep it interactive a little bit so we can hear from people who is listening if maybe they have just a couple of questions on the previous part. What's the most common, you know, like objection you guys face on the field? This is what we're looking for, to really add value. So it's good to hear the feedback.
Matthew Woodward says we're moving soon. That's one objection. How do we handle that one?
Great. Where are you going? Congratulations. Where are you going? Oh, let's play role a little bit. Okay, so you're my homeowner. He goes like, we're gonna be moving. Oh, really? That's awesome. Yeah, I moved to this area recently. I came from New Jersey, whatever, to Florida. Where are you going? Oh, we're going to Windermere or down the road or this area. Oh, that's an actually great area. Awesome. Can I have the address so we can make a consultation once you move in? Because 1 or 2 months after you move in, you're gonna have an electric bill, and guess, you know, God will know how much will be that consumption. Are you expanding? Are you growing, or are you moving to a smaller house and ask more questions to get more information to see if you can add value. That's it. If you go to a homeowner and it's a real situation that they really like you and they're telling you that they will be moving or they're renting right now. With renters, guys, I have 2 techniques. One technique is, oh, great, when are you buying your house? It sounds rude and it's awkward, but they go like, oh, we're gonna be buying a house in the next few months or probably next year. Awesome. Let me get your information. I'll stay in touch and I make sure once you have your new house and I can connect you. Like in my specific case, I am the vice president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I have a huge network of real estate agents, mortgages, brokers. I can help you with this. If you want to buy a house next year, I can get you qualified. I have people that actually fix credit. I have people that actually can give you really good rates. And I try to connect with the homeowner and give value. That's one technique.
I will say also, like, really understanding when are you planning on moving, because and then asking as well, and do you plan to keep this house you're living now? Are you the homeowner of this current house? Because some people buy second homes, right? So they could be like placing solar on this current house even if they are moving. So my first questions will be trying to understand, okay, when are you planning on moving? Are you the homeowner? And just really navigating with that homeowner, like if this is a potential for even the current house you're in, and just try to say, listen, you can rent this house in the future with solar as well. I'll just explain in this presentation. All I need is 30 minutes with you, with your wife, and we'll walk and see all the benefits of solar.
Thank you,
Jennifer. And Abdul brings up a great point, because normally when I knock on doors, people are already annoyed. So Abdul, yeah, I relate to what you're saying. How do you approach that when they've been knocked 25 times and you're number 26?
That's a great territory, because we'll call it the cold, warm territories, right? And I'm going to touch base on territory management. So I'm going to answer your question, giving you another question. So what is better? Cold territory, virgin territory, nobody's been there, nobody's been doing door knocking, a new development community, or an area that a lot of people have been there and already dropped the information, already probably make some appointments, things like that. Which one is better? So both extremes are bad, right? We have to find a really good sweet spot in the middle. But probabilities for you to close a deal on one of those extremes are higher. And I'm going to explain myself right now. If you go to a virgin area and nobody's been done, is been in that area offering solar, knocking on those doors, guess what? You're going to be the first person. You can add the value, you can have the low hanging fruits, right? But it's going to take you more time to actually educate the community, right? Even though you can make more appointments, let's say you have 10 appointments on that area, your closing ratio on that area, because it's a brand new territory, probably will be lower. A lot of people, they just want to get the information and then think about it, right? Now let's move to the other extreme. If you have an area that is being knocked out by different installers, and you know, every time you go, they already have a sign, they literally raise the flag of not soliciting. They have the authority to step out and say, get out of my property, because they already know who is there. If you are able to handle that objection, if you are able to overcome that objection on that house that is being knocked, guess what? You will be having a high opportunity of closing a deal. Why? Because this guy found in you something very special that actually makes them make the appointment. And it all goes with the objections. If you know how to overcome the objection and you identify the right buyer profile for that person, you will be able to make the appointment. If you make the appointment on that house that is being knocked by so many people, that person already received the pitch, already read about it, right? Already was curious, probably already talked to the wife about it. You know what I mean? It's a warm area. It's being worked. Some people go to territories that they've been working before to rework the area. You can squeeze territories and get more appointments in a territory that you already work. And I'm going to be talking about the different looping systems that you can use in the field. But I will say the best spot is the sweet spot in the middle. If you go to a virgin area, it's going to be easier for you to make appointments, but harder to close those appointments. If you go to a territory that is being worked for so many companies, it's going to be hard to make the appointments, but the closing ratios are going to be all to the top. So sweet spot in the middle, all areas are good. It's all about consistency and systems. Okay, so let's move on to the 5 buyer profiles. We're going to start with, when I'm explaining these buyer profiles, I want you guys to imagine one of your customers, right? One of the customers that you make the appointment last week or yesterday, to see if they fit in any of these buyer profiles. And I'm going to drop 2 things. First, I'm going to describe the profile, and then I'm going to drop some of the managing tips to be able to make appointments in that specific buyer profiles. All right. Okay, let's move on. We have the friendlies. This is the first type of profile. They usually are talkers. They usually hang out with you, always welcoming and nice with everybody at the door. They love to hang out and spend time enjoying conversation. They're very, very nice. They usually smile. They make you feel better. They offer you water. You know what I mean? Hey, are you thirsty? You want some water or something? Are you good? Can I do something for you? Or ask your personal questions. Hey, where do you get that, that jacket or whatever? They are friendly. They like to talk and hang out. Risk alarm for this type of people. Why? Because you can spend a lot of time with them and not making any appointments and believing that they are, building relationships with you because they want to make an appointment, but wrong. They just want to be friendlies. They are friendlies by nature. How do you manage these guys? You let them talk, of course, sympathy, and don't let them take control over the conversation, right? Make sure you are not wasting your time. You're always quality time with quality people. And for this special type of customer, you have to develop the ability to engage and disengage very easy, right? How to connect with them and then disconnect with them, and following the 5 steps of the conversation. You can do your intro. They can talk for hours about whatever, the car, the new house, the cousin that is visiting. And then you get back to the short story presentation. And then at the middle of your presentation, they talk about, Elon Musk or whatever. And then you get back to closing and get back to rehash. Those 5 steps are the key. So this is one of the managing tips. You have to learn how to create personal relationships with them and disengage faster without affecting the customer feelings or perception that you are not interested. So be honest with these guys. They have a sixth sense of who is being fake by the relationship. If you are connecting with them, just be completely honest. I'm not into that topic, or I really don't know about this, but it sounds very interesting. Probably we can talk about that later or something, and then engage and disengage and take control over the conversation. All right, the next profile are these guys, partner buyers. Who is a partner buyer? Well, many examples. Couples, married couples, single mothers with daughters. They both live together. They take decisions together. For example, they like to make decisions based on their accountability partner. Who is their accountability partner, right? And it could be wife, husband, or a significant other, or simply the most influential life partner. You can identify this profile when they say, I will love to do it, but my husband or wife is not here and I would like him to know, or he is the one who handles that, right? How many times you have make a great conversation and trying to make an appointment and all that, and then at the end of the conversation they go like, well, my husband handles this, I take care of my home, he takes care of everything outside. So he's the accountability partner. So how do you manage these guys? And make them feel secure about what you're offering, and let them know that it's okay to make an appointment. So his or her partner is already included in the conversation. And it's very good to avoid the one leg appointments. If you make an appointment with one of these guys, you can have, if you make the appointment, make sure the other person, the accountability partner, is on the meeting. Otherwise, it is going to be an appointment that I call a one leg appointment. What is a one leg appointment? You go to the appointment, then the husband is there, you make a 45 minutes presentation, an hour presentation, and at the end of the conversation, everything is going perfect. And he drops this bomb. I love to do it, but my wife is the person who makes the decision. So let me get the information and we call you back, right? How many times we have that situation? You can avoid that by making sure both are present. Yeah, and it's like decreasing your closing ratios. All right, let's go back to admins. These admins, they're usually on a rush. This you can pretend these are the CEOs of Amazon. You know what I mean? The Jeff Bezos, the busy people. The appearance is a very busy agenda, and they don't have time to lose it with you at the door. You can identify this profile when they say you have 5 minutes, or I am busy, or they feel like the CEO, and they usually take control over the conversation. Very dominant people, right? How many times you've been at the door and they say like, I'm working right now, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Okay, managing tip for these guys, you have to say things like, I'll be really quick, or this will take 2 minutes. Apply the field found technique. They are usually a numeric person, so if you can reinforce with relevant data and reliable sources, if you get the attention based on, they actually get the attention of you based on the selling value. You have to practice how not to lose control, asking repetitive questions or going out of your 5 steps of the conversation. Ice breaking in the beginning could make a huge difference with these guys, because these people is not usually very friendly with these folks. And when they have a really good relationship with when you have a really good ice breaking, they can connect with you, and they can make the appointment and feel like friends with you, because you make the ice break.
Try that energy one that you.
All right. Let's move on to the next
brain?
profile.
Yeah.
The next
Get
one
the
is
chocolate. Yeah, try
the shopper.
the chocolate.
What is a shopper? A shopper is this
Mario, please
person that
mute
usually
Yeah,
yourself.
likes to
there.
put
I'm
the
right now,
microphone
like,
on mute.
Me too. I'm the same way.
I think it's just from being outside. I can totally.
Mario Diaz, can you please put your microphone on mute?
I think you can mute it from
Please give
from the
me
main
1 second.
control.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
Go to
I feel like how I
participants.
felt
I cannot
yesterday
do it.
at night when I brought my paint.
Yeah, the host needs to mute all participants.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
loud and clear.
Okay, great. All right, let's get back to this. We were Shoppers. Okay, so what are the shoppers? The shopper is this type of person that usually likes to feel like they have control over every decision they make, because they have to make they have made mistakes in the past and they don't want to make them again, right? They react easily to promotions, discounts, bundles, offers, sales scripts, etc. This is like music to their ears, right? They love to shop, but they hate to feel sold. You can identify this profile when they say, is there any other special program you guys are offering now? Or for example, when they say, is this different from what I hear before? Or for example, they say, I've been looking into it and already had some quotes, but I have not decided yet. They want to have the best offers. They want to have all that. What is the managing tip for this type of people? Use your 4 factors of impulse like crazy. Reinforce with words like now, just today, just for this week, because it is the end of the month or the quarter, I have to, make this quota. We have a special promotion, special bundle, special, I don't know, summer offer or something. Government incentives, highlight that this industry the government is incentivizing this,
The 36 months that we have now at Powur.
Right now we have a Powur at 36 months offer. So just plug into those promotions that Powur is constantly doing and make sure you guys have that. All right. The next profile. Where is my clicker? There you go. The rocket scientist. These guys they just pretend to have a living Einstein at the door. Just pretend the person that is opening the door is Albert Einstein. These guys, they know everything about everything, not only solar, and they do deep research and want to make sure they go to the bottom of the subject. They usually test your knowledge or experience and ask you a really, really good question. Have you ever had those questions? I bet you do. I bet some of those questions you didn't know how to answer. Those are the rocket scientists. They approve or disapprove people based on their perception or of security and authority on a subject. And they dedicate a lot of time in studying and reading. Okay, so how do you handle these guys? I'm gonna drop my management tip. You have to be humble. You have to complement their knowledge and talk to them in their same language by asking them questions. They usually love to share their knowledge, right? And they like to be admired for what they have discovered or research, and create personal relationship with them by linking technical knowledge with personal questions. They will love to talk about it. Like, for example, if you have this rocket scientist at the front of the door and you're pitching your script and they go like, well, I actually invent the photovoltaic systems with the AC to DC conversion at the cell level with the acceleration of protons and neutrons inside the cell. Actually was a chemical that I created. Are you guys using the same silicon, the same monocrystalline silicon that I created 5 years ago? You don't know the answer, right? You don't know the answer. So you go like, oh, wow, humble yourself. That's really amazing. You actually did that. Can I take a picture of you? Man, you actually revolutionized the industry. How do you have a daughter or a son? Great. How do they feel about you? I mean, they have to admire you like crazy. You know what I mean? You have to complement their knowledge and you have to let them talk or ask deeper questions. Really? Wow. Wow. And how do you do that? You went to school? You did it here in Florida, or where did you did that research? How long ago was it? Things like that, and let them talk, remember 70-30 rule, and engage with them. All right, so do you guys see value on these buyer profiles? We have shoppers, we have rocket scientists at the door, we have admins, we have friendlies, we have partner buyers, we have a lot of different profiles, but these are the main ones. If you guys are facing or are dealing with these buyer profiles, you know how to handle them. Sometimes you have been at the door with a rocket scientist and you try to be, you try to use the techniques for an admin or vice versa. You have a friendly and then you use technique for a shopper, and this is not going to work. This is simply not going to work. Why? Because you have to pitch what you have to pitch, and you have to connect, and you have to manage, right? Manage every single one of your actions depending who you're talking with. Who you're talking with. Who is the person in the door, a rocket scientist? Is the person at the door an admin, a CEO? If I become a friendly, just pretend I'm pitching the friendly card with an admin. The admin is the CEO. He's going to kick me out of the house. He's busy. Man, he's the CEO. It's like Elon Musk is opening the door. If Elon Musk is opening the door for me, well, probably Elon Musk likes solar, but let's talk about, for example, Jeff Bezos, right? Let's say Jeff Bezos opened the door. He doesn't have time to hang out with me, right? He doesn't have the time to hang out with me. What if we have, I don't know, Jimmy Fallon? Jimmy Fallon is a friendly. He opens the door. Hey, bro, how are you? I love your show. You know, you got to start building relationship with a friendly and then sell accordingly. All right. Let's talk about a little bit of territory management. I know it's been a long training. I do want to have leave some time for questions at the end. So I'm gonna fly through the presentation. I'm gonna fly, guys. So take notes, because what I have left, it could take 1 hour, but I'm gonna fly over the topic because I don't wanna finish my presentation without touching all these points, because I know it's gonna increase your productivity. All right, let's go. First of all, for you guys to have a territory management system, you have to have 3 different systems. 3 systems for territory management. First is a looping system. Second is a tracking system. And then you're gonna have a disposition system, okay? Let's start with the looping system. Your looping system is gonna be easily a system that you're gonna be following. Probably in the morning, you're gonna have office working, following apps, calls, making, you know, your presentations, or if you're just canvassing, then go to the field in the afternoon. And then you're gonna have a schedule. You first gonna have to hit the field on an exploratory loop, look around the community, look around the neighborhood, right? And then your first loop, I typically use the first loop between 2 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. I try to use this loop because during this time, I have the people that is actually working from home. I have the people that is, I'm gonna share something here. I'm gonna have the people that is working from home. I'm gonna have the people that is probably retired. And you know what I mean? It's gonna be a very exploratory loop where you're gonna have probably just people in the community that is very low hanging fruit. So people that is not busy unless they're working from home. On the second loop, you're gonna have to make a break between the second loop, the first loop and the second loop. The break is gonna be 30 minutes between 4:30 to 5 p.m. And then at 5, you're gonna have a second loop between 5 and 6. At 6 p.m., you may have to reset, right? And then after you reset, you're gonna start loop 3, and then you're gonna follow up. So I'm gonna make a little draw here on the board. I don't know if you can see it. So let's say, for example, this is the community. These circles that you see on the screens are houses, okay? Remember, we're focusing on single family houses. These houses that you have here, and I'm gonna draw some, you know, lines to kind of explain the community. So let's say, for example, this is the neighborhood, right? This is the streets.
We can't see the drawings, Diego. Sorry about that.
Okay, 1 second.
It's not showing up.
Can you guys see it?
There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so these are houses. These little circles are houses. So once you start on a house, let's say, for example, you start in this house, you're gonna start looping to this house, then 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 this house. Why you have to follow that looping? Because if you go, let's say, for example, if you start here and you go to here and you cross, that's gonna create a false looping. And the person that is actually on this house looking through the window is gonna look at you going crazy all over the territory without a system. If they see you organized on an organized matter, going house by house with a system, they will love to see, hey, what is this guy doing? What is the program that is happening right now? Once you finish here, you're gonna cross the street, go to this house, this house, this house, and then follow the system, right? You have to be very organized with the looping system and the way you're going through the doors and through the street, because you don't wanna be in a community like a person that is not reliable, a person that you cannot trust. So that's one key. The first loop is gonna be like that. Then the second loop, once you start, let's say you finish here, when you start the second loop, you're not going to continue with your next single house and the next single house. You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to start again where you begin here on the second loop, and then you're going to keep going through these houses following the same looping system until 5 p.m. At 5 p.m., you're going to reset, and guess what? You're going to start your loop number 3. Your loop number 3 is not going to continue in this house. You're not going to continue in that house. You're going to start over where you begin here in the first house, and you're going to start looping your third loop here from 6 to 7. What this system is going to create is basically that you're going to hit every single house 3 times at different hours. Probably you will have some houses that are left over, right? Some houses like these houses here that you probably just loop 1 time and 2 times, but guess what? You have the following day to continue your looping system. So I can explain this in detail, and there's a lot of theology and theory on this looping system behind behind the looping system. It's a field territory management looping system, and I can explain that later because you don't wanna go crazy. If you go like crazy through all the houses from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., you can either have a very successful day or you can fail. It's just like that. There is no point in the middle. You will be having a very, very successful day or a very bad day. It's just what happens. And we don't want to be.
And you need to create a system. So if you keep it organized, even during the loops, then you will see what this makes sense also with the tracking system and with the disposition system, because that way a homeowner is seeing, you know, you're talking to their neighbors in order. So he's kind of like expecting you. Some woman, you know, sometimes the kitchen is very close to this window next to the door. So they see and they trust, okay, this guy is speaking with the neighbors. So, you know, like this starts creating like an image of you. So the image is not only when they talk to you, but how they see you walking that neighborhood and all that.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, that's true. All right. Tracking system, very important. You need to use an app, a tool for you to keep on track. Okay, I'm gonna touch base with that. And then you have to count and knock and see how many doors you're knocking, how many people you're contacting, how many people are decision makers, and how many payments you're making. That's your tracking system. Your disposition system is basically how you're going to disposition every single house that you're going to be in. Not at home the first time, not at home the second time, not at home the third time. The house is empty. This house actually is a go back because, you know, the little kid said to me that his father was going to be back from work at 5 p.m. So this is a really good go back or a callback. Hey, you know what? I'm working right now. Give me a call. This is my number. We can probably meet tomorrow but I don't want to make the appointment. Let me talk to my wife. She will be here in an hour. Call me back. Okay, so disposition that as a callback. If they're not interested, no means next. Good. You're flipping the card. Remember, yes, you need yes or no. Yes or no. That's all you need. And then if you make the appointment, yay, congratulations. You have your first appointment. OSP is other solar provider. I put other solar provider just to keep a mark of where the provider is. And then I keep a different color for different installers so I can have a good image of what is the marketing territory marketing strategy for different companies. And then if they're not qualified, meaning the house is empty or they have a lot of trees that probably will be more expensive to cut those trees than having solar, or for any reason renters or anything like that. All right, so the first loop, just to recap, this is your recognition and exploratory loop. Even though you could be able to make some appointments during this loop, usually this loop will be very useful to get very familiar with your territory. If there is people working from home, make sure you are able to set up your go back status. And if you could recognize the empty homes and the traffic dynamic in the location assigned, guys, this dynamic or traffic dynamic in the territory, you will see, well, at least in Florida, you can see if there is cars in the driveway, there is somebody at home. If you see one car, I knock 2 times. If I see 2 cars, I knock 3 times and wait, right? If there is no car, I knock, but at least 2 times or 1 time. But if I see a car, it's gonna be 3 or 4 times. Why? Because I know there is somebody at home. And sometimes you see houses that they don't have cars, and then because you're looping, you see, oh, now we have a nice BMW here, or now we have a Toyota here. You know what I mean? And you know, this is going to be a new person. If you see a car literally pulling in, don't approach that person like, hunting them, right? Because and this happens to me literally. I see a lady with groceries running inside the house, so I don't catch them, right? To connect, because people is afraid of door knockers and people making conversations. You really don't want that to happen, guys. They're coming from work. Probably they need to use the restroom. Probably they have kids. Probably they have a meeting. They need to send an email. They need to answer a call. They're hungry. You know what I mean? Nothing worse to make an appointment than a person that is is hungry or is cooking and pending to eat. If somebody opens the door and they go like, "Oh, we're eating," just let them know. We'll be back. That smells really, really good. I'll be back in an hour. I don't want to interrupt your eating. Things like that. This is the longest loop in your day, your first loop. And if you're looking for what we call the rich home bonus, this is the best time to get it. And we call it the rich home bonus because in this loop, if you're able to make an appointment, probably you're going to have a great day. Probably you're going to make 2 or 3 appointments that single day. During the break, make sure you rest. You know what I mean? You have to use really comfortable sneakers. I have a whole list of equipment and tools that you can use when you're canvassing and when you're in the field that I can send you guys. Feel free to contact me. I can share all this content with you. And then, recover, because the most productive hours are literally between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m., guys. Why? Because we have people that works during the day and they come back at 5, 6. If you have people that is working from home, that's the time that they want to, have these conversations at the door. If you have people that actually works from home in the night shift, they leave the house around 5 or 6. So before around 4:30, you can start making this appointment. So your most productive hours are the second and the third loop. Second loop is your second loop of the day. Make the most appointments possible. And then the third loop is what we call the extra effort loop. This is the most challenging. This is the mindset loop, because that's when we are more exhausted. That's when we don't want to knock more doors. We don't want to talk. We don't want to deal with this anymore. But if you're able to keep consistent on this third loop, you're going to be very successful. If you are short on your daily goal to knocking on doors, you have this time to actually catch up. If you're already three appointments up before this loop, then this is your chance to fill your paycheck with more opportunity. Third loop is the key loop. Any questions on this looping system, guys? Any comments? Leave your comments on the chat box. Jennifer will be able to mention some of those. I don't have access to the chat right now. And I hope this looping system is very useful for you. If you don't use a looping system, you don't know where you're going. You don't know where to start the next time you're getting back to that area. You know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult to manage. Before leaving the field, when you jump into your car, make sure you report all your appointments. If you have a software or somebody that is running those appointments for you, you can use WhatsApp. You can use a Canvas group. You can use and report your daily numbers. Let's talk about the disposition system. These are the dispositions that I use. You can have way more. If you have more, then you can be more specific. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to remember. But this is the disposition system that I personally use. So not a home 1, not a home 2, not a home 3. This is the 3 times that you go to that house. Go backs and callbacks, very simple. Appointment that you set when they are not at home. Sometimes you can go to a house, it seems it's occupied, but they're literally not at home. So I mark it as not at home. So I'm not repeating the same house when I'm doing my loopings. Not interested, very good. If they're a renter, then mark it as a renter. Other solar provider, they already have solar fully. If you have closed a project, I gave back to my customer, I mark it as closed. So I know what is my landmark in that specific neighborhood or territory. And then if the customer get the system installed, I put it install. And then other notes, other situations, I put it as other. And you will be impressed for the type of information that you have from these different canvassing providers. You have to use software and tools to become a professional canvasser. You are just as professionals as the tools you use and the techniques you use. You know what I mean? If you are a carpenter, you don't want to use a hammer to cut a board, right? You have to cut the board with a specific tool. You have to choose your tools. You have to invest in your business. You're an entrepreneur. You have to figure it out. What is the best way and the easiest way for you to keep everything organized and get the most appointments? It's just like that. So I do recommend, and I swear to God, I don't get paid for this. This is not a referral. I don't have any relationship with these companies. These are some of the softwares that I use. I have used, my favorite one was Canvas with double S. This Canvas app, it's literally an app that you download. It has the territory. It imports all the data from the community. I believe it's $50 or $60 per month or something like that. And you literally work in a community and you can see what is the homeowner's name, who's living there, what people is inside, what is the annual income, you know, everything, how many square feet they have, if they do have a pool, they don't have a pool. Remember, when you have customers with a pool, the consumption is higher because they need to cool the house, warm the house, the water of the pool, or move the water through the pool pump. So higher electric bills when you have houses with pools, unless they have solar water heater systems, but that's not the case most of the times. So this app is very, very good, and you can export the data. You have an admin portal. Another very reputable and very useful tool is SalesRabbit. SalesRabbit, I believe you have two ways. One is $35 that you subscribe, and the other one is the data package. I believe is $20 or $25. I'm giving you prices from 3 years ago, I believe. And this is the cost for this data. You have access to same thing, homeowners information, who's living there. You can walk into a house. I'm looking for John Maxwell. And they go like, oh, John is not here. I'm his wife. What are you looking for? Well, we have a special program. Nice to meet you. My name is Diego. I'm with Clever Energy. And then you go with the pitch. But it's different when you have the information. It's different when you invest in your business. It's different when you have a tool to actually keep track on this. If you don't want to do that because that's too much, and at the end of the day, I don't need to know the name of the person. If you're a professional canvasser and you figure it out on your way on the field, I will recommend at least use Google Sheets. I use Google Sheets like crazy when I didn't have the apps. Just mark your address, put your name, and see which ones to follow up. But keep track. Use a software, use a system for you to go back to those customers. If you don't want to use technology because you don't have internet or you don't want to bring your phone to the field, use a tracking sheet. This one that I'm showing is a tracking sheet that I used to use. Name, loop number 1, loop number 2. I'm tracking my loops. I know if I make an appointment, if I don't make an appointment, or carry on appointment cards. Appointment cards are good. You can also do appointment cards via QR codes. They can scan the QR code, fill out their card, and then send it back to you. So there's a lot of tools, guys. This is just a very quick recap of what tools are in the market, and I'm pretty sure there is tons of different apps, different pricing. So just my advice is invest in this. It's gonna pay off. Okay, these are some of the screenshots. As you can see, you can literally walk through the neighborhood, mark your disposition based on what was the outcome. You can put notes on the comments area. You can change the status if it's a warm lead, a cold lead. This is just like a small CRM for canvassers. And my advice is just plug it in. You can have your iPhone, you can have your tablet, Android, whatever. Like for example, this customer, you can see the name, the address, how many years he's been in this house, what is the square footage of the house, if he's a homeowner or a renter. You can literally skip all the renter. If you have a software like this, just think about how many houses you can skip if the software is already telling you who is a renter. And how many times you have been in a house and you're trying to make an appointment, the person is an experienced homeowner because they do have a lot of door knockers, and they go like, well, we're renters. And you go like, no, you're not a renter. You're the homeowner of this house. I can see it on public records. You're walking with authority. You know what I mean? And the person is like, uh-oh, yes, I'm the homeowner. I'm just exhausted. You guys are so annoying. You're knocking my door, whatever. You go, yeah, I know. I feel you. Some people is very annoying. I don't mean to interrupt. I want to be very respectful. I want to make an appointment with you. I'm just, if you're not interested, then we don't take your information. You know what I mean? We're very respectful. We just work on appointments. We're not going to show up, make an appointment, making a script, and then make you sign a contract or run your credit without your permission. All your data is storage. We follow strict protocols for data protection, things like that, and make them feel very secure, very comfortable, guys. We can make appointments like crazy. It's all a mindset. It's all an attitude. It's all about your systems. All right. This was me using Canvas. Some of the territories that you select, you can literally choose an area, and then you can see all the information in that area, and you can squeeze that area. You know, you don't have to go over tons of millions of neighborhoods. You can just stay in a single area and work that area, become the authority, do the solar installs, as many installs in that area as possible, and then become the authority and squeeze the area. You don't have to drive 3 hours to the next community, 3 hours to the next one, 4 hours. Just choose one and work that territory completely. Okay, let's talk about metrics, KPIs for direct-to-consumer campaigns. For door-to-door, this is the funnel. You have to track how many doors you're knocking. Out of those doors that you knocked, you have to see how many actual houses, right? So when I said doors knock, I'm talking about how many times you knock in a door, literally, right? So for example, 40 houses, right? If you knock on that house 3 times on every single house, that's what? 120 houses a day, right? 120 houses if you go to 40 houses. I'm sorry, 120 doors if you go to 40 houses on a single day. 40 houses on a day is doable, which means 3 loops. That's 120 doors that you went 3 times every single house, okay? So out of 120 houses that you go on a single day, you're gonna see how many people you actually contact, right? Some of the houses, they don't open. Some of the houses, they look through the window, they don't open. It's a private residence. You cannot make them open the door. If they open the door, then that's a contact, right? You talk to someone. It could be the dog, it could be the daughter, it could be the grandmother, it could be anybody, right? You really don't know who's opening the door. It could be the cousin that is visiting from New York because it's too cold right now. You know what I mean? In Florida, we're visiting. He opened the door, you have a contact. Somebody opens the door and you have a real contact. After the people you contact, you have to figure how many of those contacts are actually decision makers, right? If you're talking with somebody that is visiting, that's not the decision maker. If you're talking with the daughter that just came from ballet, you know, that's not the decision maker. You have to talk to homeowners. How many homeowners you actually talk to? Decision makers. And then one of those decision makers, you have to figure out how many appointments you make. On this funnel, it's not a virtual funnel, it's a real funnel, right? We're canvassing, we're in the field. You have to be aware that if you don't track these numbers, your frustration can go to the sky. Your frustration can go to the sky. You can literally pretend that one day you knock 120, 140 doors and then not making any appointment. And then the next day you will be like, well, I did 120 doors and I didn't make an appointment. This doesn't work. I cannot make an appointment. You have to figure your numbers on a weekly or monthly basis. You know, one day you can have a rough day, no appointments. The next day you keep consistently doing 120 doors, you know, contacts, decision makers, appointments. And the next day you will have really 3 appointments because of the law of average. Is the LOA, the law of average. You will see how many doors you knock on a single week and how many appointments you make on a single week. You cannot make decisions based on emotions because that day was rainy and you get wet and you didn't make an appointment. Forget about it. You know, the next day is going to be sunny. The next day is going to be rainy. The next day is not going to be cloudy. And the next day you're going to have somebody offering you food or buying you something. You know, you will be impressed the stories. And I'm pretty sure some of the canvassers in this meeting, in this Zoom call, they do have stories. You know, we do have our stories. And the goal here is basically to forget about emotions when it comes to the results. We have to put a system, go back to numbers, and I literally can coach you as a mentor. I can literally coach you as a mentor if I have your numbers. If you give me a call and you go, Diego, I went to your training. I really love what you said. I would like to have more mentorships with you about canvassing, about my projects. The first question that I'm going to ask you is how many doors you knocked yesterday? How many doors you knocked last week? How many people you contact? Okay, so if we have a lack of doors knocked, then we have, you know, a lazy person. If you're not door knocking 120 doors, then you're a lazy person, right? You have to be able, well, sometimes we have tough days. We can do 80, but the next day you have to compensate, right? It's all a numbers game. Now, if you don't have contacts, then we have to figure it out. If you did the 120 doors, but then your contact numbers are very, very low. You have 120 doors, but you're contacting only 5. You know, what's going on in the area? Is this a new community? It's a new development? It's an empty community, or it's a retired community, or you know what I mean? Or they have I don't know, they have it's a cold territory or a very warm territory. We have to figure out what's going on the community, or see if it's your presence. Sometimes, you know, your image is not projecting somebody to open the door, so you're not able to connect with people, even if it's a little young girl inside the house or a grandmother. You know, they want to be able to open the door because you look nice, because you look friendly, because you look approachable, right? So we have to coach on that. If you have good numbers on door knocks and good numbers in contact, then, but you're not having a lot of decision makers, why is that? Are you following the looping system? Are you following the schedule? Because believe me, if you follow this system, you will be able to contact decision makers one way or the other. And then if you are reaching out to decision makers, but you're not making the appointments, then we have to practice your script. Are you using the 4 factors of impulse? Are you using the 5 steps of a conversation? Are you using the 8 great work habits? Are you using the C factors? And we can coach and we can see what's going on, but with numbers, not with emotions. I don't coach anybody that actually calls me, Diego, you know, somebody send me his dog, they bite me, whatever, you know, that doesn't make any sense for me. You know, we talk in numbers, we talk about you know, your habits, we talk about your system, and I can coach on that. So with this funnel, right, doors knock, people that you contact, decision makers, and appointments, the numbers that I will throw here are numbers that I normally follow. This is not the rule for all the states, depending the weather, depending the looping system that you use, it may change. And you know, your experience as a canvasser in the beginning could be harder to make appointments or being able to engage with decision makers. If you are an experienced canvassing, probably you have issues with the volume of doors that you're knocking, because you know, you've been doing this for so long, you just need more motivation or something. So we need to, you know, work on your mindset and your attitude. So 120 doors per day. If you're able to get 120 doors per day, you will be able to at least contact 50 people in that community, 50 people on that community of 120 doors, which is 40 houses, right? And then out of the 50 people, you will be able to talk to 10 decision makers. If you contact 50 people, you will be able to talk at least with 10 decision makers, 1/5, 1 every 5. And then out of those 10 decision makers, guys, if you have 10 decision makers every single day, following this system, mastering the script, applying these techniques, I guarantee you, you will be able to make 1 or 2 appointments per day. That won't be awesome. Just think about this. Think about making 1 or 2 appointments a day. How much money is that? How much money is that as an appointment setter? Even if you're running the appointments for yourself, if you're closing deals, 1 or 2 appointments per day is a good number. But it requires for you to follow the system, follow the rules, and follow everything that I shared today. With that, I'm just gonna be the mic open for questions. It's everything that I prepared for you guys. There is a lot more to share. I know we run very fast through the tools, through the things, but you can always give me a call. This is my phone number. I leave it there at the screen. This is my email. You can book a mentor meeting with me in my Calendly that I have here on the screen. So just contact me. What questions do you have? Mic open.
Hi, Diego. Do you have any good response when the dogs are going crazy and the person that answers the door is completely distracted by the dogs?
Yes. I cannot tell you how many times I've been bitten by dogs with homeowners that they don't want me in their properties. But with dogs, like I normally use these words like, I didn't want to turn on your dog alarm. I'm sorry. You know, and it will be okay if I step in because I don't want your dog to go crazy. Or can you step out? You know, you can ask people. I mean, I'm a dog lover. I have dogs. I have German Shepherds all my life. Now I have a Yorkie with my wife. So I love dogs. I love to connect. If you have dogs, you know, dogs are a really, really good icebreaker. Like if you see a beautiful Yorkie, like I do have a Yorkie, like, hey, you know, these Yorkies are, they have a personality, right? And they sleep all day, right? And then you connect with them. If you don't know about dogs, then learn about dogs. You know, how many people have dogs in single family homes in the US? You know, read about it. In Florida, we have over 60% of single family homes with dogs. And I can talk about German Shepherds. I can talk about, you know, Yorkies, Australian Shepherds, when they merge the code and the breeds, and, you know, how much food. Food is getting expensive right now with the shipping, especially I give my dog this and that. Use it as an icebreaker. And, you know, I don't want to turn on your dog alarm. I'm sorry. Can I pet your dog? You know, can I pet him? I just love dogs. I'm sorry, I forgot why I'm here. I just want to pet your dog. I'm sorry. My name is Diego, by the way, and then you start pitching. So dogs are really good tool. If you want to have the homeowner like completely immersed into you, I will say that's a very hard task. You know what I mean? Because remember, you just show up. They don't expect you. It's for you to be able to handle. Something that I use a lot is the mirroring technique. The mirroring technique is, and when we practice this with different solar companies, that when they hire me for these trainings, I literally step in front of my trainee as a mentor mentee. And when I'm pitching, I start doing things like this, like this, like this, crossing, resting on the side, doing different things. And the person who's pitching me, they need to mirror what I'm doing. Why? Because when you do that at the door and you're pitching and the person gets distracted, it could be a dog. It could be, they could be scratching their back. You know what I mean? They could be doing whatever. And you start mirroring them. It's awkward, but it calls their attention and they stop doing it. It's amazing. Another thing that is another tool for you to use in the field is assenting with your head. When you assent with your head, it's like confirming, and they mirror your body language. Like when you go like this on your script, like, are you guys paying $200 to $300 on the Monday bill? And you move your head like this. People is gonna, even if they paying $500, guess what they're gonna do? They assent and they say, yeah, I'm paying around that. Why? Because they mirror your body language. It's just like that. So I will say use those two techniques, and you can get around different distractions. Not only the dogs. What about the kids? Think about the kids. You know, a kid screaming or a baby crying. You have to be able to adapt through the situations, and you know that's just your normal day. That's just your normal day. You go with it. Oh, that's a baby. How old is he or she? It's a he or she. Wow, beautiful. Yeah, we're planning to have kids with my wife, and keep it real. I mean, I don't have kids right now. We're planning to have kids probably in the future, but you know, I bet
No
you know, have changed your
pressure.
life. Okay. Any
Okay,
more
next
questions?
question.
I have a question, Diego.
Sure.
Thank you again for all this value that you're providing to us, man. This is incredible. How do you select? So you spoke about contacting or construction companies and developing companies to know where to go to knock. I have issues on finding the territory where I want to go and focus on. What would you suggest for that?
Commercial. Okay. The campaign and the script for this is direct to consumer, but business to business is completely different. In business to business,
No, I mean more in the sense of how do you
choose the right neighborhood?
The right neighborhood, yeah. So new development areas you're talking about.
for residential.
For residential, correct.
Yeah, I drive and I look, because Google Maps, when you have a paid membership, like if you go to your regular email, like my personal email at Gmail, and then I go to Maps, it's not as updated as the paid version. Like if I go with my corporate email, the dgarcia@GoCloudEnergy, and you go to Maps, it's more updated. I believe it's 4 months updated. And when you click shift and you move your cursor around with the left click on it, you can see a 3D view of the map. I normally travel through Google Maps and see where are the new developments and where you see territories that actually are moving, like the landscaping and cutting trees and, you know, developing the area. But that is not very accurate. You know, 4 months old, you know what I mean? It could be already developed.
Another way will be like list the main developers of your city. Like for example, in Central Florida, we have Tavistock, we have Pure Homes, we have Maddie, we have Lennar too. So if you enter to those websites, you see where are the new constructions or where are the new areas. For example, here in Orlando, last year was like a lot of construction in Winter Garden, but it is around all areas, right? Like we see in St. Cloud a lot of development, in Ponciana, we see it as well north of Popka. So it's like construction pretty much all around our city, but it may be different in different states. So what I will do is just list who are the main developers in the area and just enter into those websites and see. Now, be careful because also when you go into a new neighborhood, well, this is people that just move in, right? So now you need to estimate, and probably will do a training another day, another time on how to estimate the system, right? For a homeowner that recently bought their house, because there is a different way of approaching a new homeowner an old homeowner in a new house than a person who has been living there for 2 years, right? Or 10 years. But did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Jennifer.
All right, all right. Without further ado, it's already, what time is it?
It's
12:47.
12:47.
Wow.
Thank you for
Time
giving us
flies
2
when you're
hours
having
of your
fun,
day.
right? I hope you guys enjoy this training. I'm here to serve you guys. We're in the Freedom Tour with Powur. We have the shirt on. We're on your team. Thank you, Ramsey, for the call. Thank you, Ramsey, for actually, motivate me to do this. I hope we add value to you guys. If there is anything that you guys need, please reach out to me, reach out to Jennifer, reach out to Ramsey. We're here to help. We're here to make this solar business better and make better professionals so that you can make better consultations and being very respectful when we're making appointments in the field in these direct to consumer campaigns.
Yes, very aligned with the Powur mission to accelerate the adoption of clean renewable energy. Already like mentors in the platform, but more than that, really at your service. I'll share with you a couple of links that you can like. So our Facebook fan page, our YouTube channel has a couple of videos already, more for homeowners, but we will be creating more for like a solar specialist. And we also create an Instagram account for both of us, so you can see our trainings, the events that we're doing, and hopefully we can add value. That's all that we're looking for, and happy to help you and support you during your solar career.
Wow, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. I think this was an amazing training. Diego, Jennifer, everyone on here, show some love for the guys in the comment section. And this is only beginning. This is what comes from when you have that motivation and that ambition to better yourself, and you find like-minded people who can have that synergistic effects and get you to where you want to go. Because in the line of work that we do, we need support systems and groups, because it's hard to be on your own out there knocking all day when you don't see any results. So, what we're building here is something very special, and I'm very, very happy and very proud to be a part of it. So again, thank you, Diego. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining on and giving us 2 hours of your time. That's incredible. So I wish everyone a great day. And yeah, you guys want to finish up with anything? You're showing something.
Yes, just to answer some questions. Yes, we will be doing this training in Spanish and promoting it in Powur Pioneers. So if you have Spanish speakers, members on your teams or in the Powur that may benefit from it, we will run it in Spanish during this week. We'll check it out if it's convenient to do it on Monday, because we don't want to interfere with another, like different trainings that are already set up. So we will promote it on the Powur Pioneers, and definitely we will be doing it in Spanish, Diego.
Awesome.
And yes, que viva
Thank
Colombia.
you so much, guys. See you there.
See you.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Woo! Let's get on this Freedom Tour, guys.
Yeah.
Buenísima, tocayo.
There you go.
Diego, excelente.
Bienvenido, papá. Vamos para arriba.
Duro, Diego. Good job, boys. Excelente trabajo.
Vamos, Moisés. Vamos para arriba.
Yeah, all the way, baby. All the way to the top.
Let's do it. I don't hear the music, baby.
Turn it up.
You give me freedom, 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 freedom.
No se escucha la música, Diego. Ok.
Bueno, cuídense. Buen día a todos.
Buen día a todos. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ooh, something magical. It's in the air.